classified. So plant kingdom is divided into two subkingdoms, cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams are divided into three divisions: Talophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta. We have already seen all the characteristics of each and every division, and we have studied many examples. We have seen the photos also, right? Then this Talophyta is divided into algae, fungi, and lichens. Right? So this we have already completed. Then phanerogams. Yesterday we have started with phanerogams. Phanerogams are the flowering plants. These are divided into two divisions: gymnosperms and angiosperms. And angiosperms are further classified into monocotyledons and dicotyledons. So I hope students, all of you remember this plant kingdom. See, this should be fixed in your brains. It is very easy to remember, not difficult, right? You can, all of you can read one time the picture, what you can see in front of you, whatever you can see on the screen. So read the classification once, then we'll move further. And at the end of the lecture, I'll be asking you a few questions based on the whole chapter, as we are going to complete the chapter today. So I'll be asking you the questions also. Okay, so only this part is remaining, angiosperms. So we have seen, we have started with angiosperms yesterday. So what are the characteristics of angiosperms? Angiosperms are flower-bearing plants. So these are the two flower-bearing plants. The flowers are their reproductive organs. Flowers develop into fruits and the seeds are formed within the fruit. So these are the characteristics of angiosperms. So whatever fruits you see around, so all those fruit plants belong to the division angiosperms, right? So they are flower bearing plants, and the flowers are their reproductive organs, and the flower develops into fruits, and seeds are also present within the fruits. And as these seeds are covered, hence they are called angiosperms. Angio means closed and sperm means the seeds or the gametes. So if the seeds are enclosed within the fruits, those are called as angiosperms. So underline the important characteristics. These are flowering plants. Flowers are the reproductive organs in them. They bear fruits, and the seeds are also present, and seeds lie inside the fruit. So these are the important characteristics of angiosperms. Also, so we have seen angiosperm means covered seeds. They have flowers, have fruits with seeds, and also they can live, these angiosperm plants or trees, they can live everywhere. They are dominant plants in the world. Around 260,000 species, that is 80% of the plant, 88% of the plant kingdom are angiosperms. So you can imagine 260,000 species of the plant kingdom are angiosperms, and 88%. Angiosperms are the most successful and advanced plants on the earth. So you can see whatever beautiful flowers you see around, those belong to angiosperms. So all these are the examples of angiosperms. All so beautiful flowers, whether it is rose or dahlia or sunflower or the flower of mango tree or lily or whatever. So whatever flowers you see around, hibiscus and everything, all colored flowers, they all belong to angiosperms. See, you can see here mango, bamboo, dahlia, rose. All these are the examples of angiosperms. Now, a simple experiment is mentioned in the textbook. So you can also try this at home, and all these seeds are easily available to us. What you have to do is soak the seed of corn, beans, groundnut, tamarind, mango, wheat, etc. Now, all these things are available to us. Nowadays, there is a season of corn also. You can get some corns. You must be having beans or any kind of pulses at home, the whole pulse. You may be having chana at home, right? So, and then groundnut, it is shengdana, what we say, and tamarind is imli, mango, wheat, right? So all these seeds you take and you soak at night, you soak it, and in water you have to keep it for 8 to 10 hours. After they are soaked, check each seed to see whether it's divided into two equal halves or not, and categorize them accordingly, right? So what you'll find, you will see that after soaking them in water for 8 to 10 hours, some of the seeds will break into two equal parts, while some of the seeds will remain as it is. Right? So this is the characteristic. When the seeds are broken down into two equal halves, those are called as dicotyledons. The seeds are called as dicotyledons. And if the seeds are not broken down into two equal parts, those are called as monocotyledons. So on the basis of this, angiosperms are classified into two classes, that is monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Let us see the definition. So here you can see on your screens, what are monocotyledons? Plants whose seeds cannot be divided into equal parts. That means they remain as it is, are called as monocotyledonous plants. Plants whose seeds cannot be divided into equal parts are called monocotyledonous plants. Examples are beet, rice, jawar, bajra, onion, etc. Right? So the seeds of all these plants, they are not divided into two equal parts. Then the next is dicotyledons. The plants whose seeds can be divided into two equal halves are called as dicotyledonous plants. Right? So it will break down into two parts. So example is the apple. Even if you see apple, when you eat apple, you just take out the seed of the apple and open the cover of that seed. You'll find that you'll find two parts of that seed. So that is called as dicotyledons. Then even mango, if you open up the seed of the mango, you will find two parts in it, in jackfruit, banyan tree, etc. So all these are the dicotyledonous plants. Okay, now let's move on to the differentiate between monocotyledons and dicotyledons. This is an important question asked 90% of the times in the exams. Right, so with the help of the diagram, we are going to learn what is the difference between monocots and dicots. Here you can see in seeds, the seeds are one cotyledon, while here the seeds are two cotyledons. If you see the leaf, you will find the veins are usually parallel. Can you see the veins? You'll find the parallel venation. This is called parallel venation, right? Next to one another. And here, in a case of monocotyledons, in case of dicotyledons plants, the leaves are having reticulate venation. Reticulate means a net-like structure. So it has reticulate venation. Then in stems, the vascular bundles are usually complexly arranged. So in case of monocotyledons, the vascular bundles are complexly arranged. That means there is no any pattern of arranging the vascular bundles. You know what are vascular bundles, right? Xylem and phloems. These are the conducting tissues and they are arranged irregularly in case of monocotyledons. While in case of dicotyledons, the vascular bundles are arranged in rings. You can see the rings of the vascular bundles here in this stem, right? Then root, in case of monocotyledons plants, the roots are fibrous roots. While here in dicotyledons, there are tap roots. Tap means it's a well-developed kind of roots, very strong and spreading at a large distance. So the root of a mango tree, you must have seen mango tree is a huge tree, and the roots are deep inserted, and it spreads to a larger length. So it has a taproot system. Then flowers in monocotyledons, the floral parts usually in the multiples of 3. Right? That means either the leaflets of the flowers will be, or you may say the petals of the flowers will be 3 or 6, that way. 3 and 6, that is in the multiples of 3. While in case of dicotyledons plants, the floral parts usually in the multiples of 4 or 5, right? That means it may be 4 or it may be 8, the petals, or either it can be 5 or 10, that way, right? So these are the important distinguishing features between monocotyledons and dicotyledons. So you have to remember about the embryo, leaf venation, stems, roots, and flowers, right? So now this way you have to write in your notebook when it is asked, distinguish between monocot plants and dicot plants, right? So the first distinguishing character is the seeds have only one cotyledon. Here the seeds have two cotyledons. Leaves usually show parallel venation. Leaves show reticulate venation. Then the third point is they have fibrous root system. And here in this case, they have taproot system. In monocotyledons, the flowers are trimerous, that is, have 3 or multiples of 3 petals. And here the flowers are pentamerous, having 5 or multiples of 5, maybe 4 are also present, number of petals. Then here there is no secondary growth, and here the secondary growth is present. That means the dicotyledons plants are big enough. Then the sixth point is stem contains scattered vascular bundles, while here the stem contains a ring of vascular bundles. And the examples of monocotyledons plants are maize, rice, grass, wheat, etc. While dicots, sunflower, pea, rose, neem, etc. and many more are there. You can write any examples which are correct. Okay, so we have finished with the chapter here. We have completed all the parts. We have started with the classification of living organisms. Then we have seen the classification of plants. We have seen all the subkingdoms and divisions. So we have completed with the chapter here. Now we are going to solve the exercise which is given in your textbooks. If you're having textbook, you can see the exercise on page number 80. So we are going to solve the question answers which are given in the exercise. So the first question you can see, match the proper terms from columns A and C with the description in the column B. So such kind of match the pair is given. So here is the answer. Maybe you can take the screenshot if you want to save the answers. So what is it? First column, Halophyta. So Halophyta, these plants mainly grow in water, and the example is algae. The next is Bryophyta. These plants need water for reproduction, and the example is moss. Pteridophyta, the characteristic is tissues are present for conduction of water and food. So from this group, from Pteridophyta group, you get well-developed tissues are present. Example is fern. Then gymnosperms. Here you can't see G, but that the spelling is gymnosperm. So no natural coverings on the seed. That is, open seeds are present. Example is cypress. Then the next is angiosperms. Seeds are formed in fruits, and the example is tamarind. So this is how you have to do the match the pair. And also you don't have to match with the help of pencil. You need to write the answers in different columns, as you know, right? You have to write the answer in this way, the correct answer in front. Okay, now question number 2. You can see the textbook. Second question is complete the sentences by filling the blanks and explain those statements. Right? So the brackets are also given to you and you have to write the answer. So the first question is dash plants have soft and fiber-like body. So which plants? The answer is Bryophyta. Right? Then next is dash is called the amphibian of the plant kingdom. Who are called the amphibians? The bryophytes, Bryophyta group. So Bryophyta is the answer. Then C question you can see. In pteridophytes, asexual reproduction occurs by dash formation and sexual reproduction occurs by dash formation. So in pteridophyta, asexual reproduction takes by spore formation and the sexual reproduction occurs by zygote formation. Male and female flowers of dash are born on different sporophylls of the same plant. So what is that division? Gymnosperm. Male and female flowers of gymnosperm are born on the same plant. I hope you have written down the answers in your textbook. And if you don't have the textbook, you can take the screenshot so that you can complete your notebook. Now let us move on to the next. Okay, question number 3. Answer the following questions in your own words. Right? You can see all these questions are there. There are 5 questions, A, B, C, D, and E. Right? So these are the questions and we'll see the answer one by one. So the first question is, write the characteristics of some kingdom, subkingdom, phanerogams. Right? So let us see. So in this way, you can write the answer, or you can write the answer on your own also, or you can pick it from the textbook also, no problem. But the answer should be in this format. And always in science, you should write the answer point-wise. Right? This is what is suggested. If you want to score good marks, you should write the answer point-wise, and also you should underline the important words so that the examiner easily gets it, whatever was required, and you get full marks. Right? So the question is, write the characteristics of subkingdom phanerogams. So the word phanerogam comprises the word phanerus meaning visible and gammus means gametes implying reproduction. They show characters like, so what are the characters of phanerogams? Well differentiated. So you can underline these words, visible gametes. So the word phanerogam means visible gametes. And the characters are well differentiated and visible reproductive organs that directly make seeds. Seeds consist of embryo along with the stored food which helps in the initial growth. Sometimes the food is there in the seed that you have to mention. Organs are further subdivided into two, and angiosperms on the basis of the seeds which are included in the food or not. Then gymnosperms produce seeds which are not enclosed by fruits and hence are called naked seeds, whereas angiosperms produce seeds which are enclosed. Right? So Write down the characteristics of subkingdom phanerogams. This question comes for 2 marks and maximum 3 marks. So when the question comes for 2 marks, you are expected to write only 4 points. 4 important points you have to write. Right? Only 4 important points. And if the question comes for 3 marks, you have to write any 6 points. So not more than that. Half mark is for each point. Then next, so the next question. So this answer will include the definition of phanerogams and the characteristics, and it is divided into 2 divisions and the examples. Right? Then the next is distinguish between monocots and dicots, and just now I have explained you this answer. Then single cotyledon, 2 cotyledons. Then about the flowers, vascular system, leaves, and the roots. So all these points should be included. You can take the screenshot of this answer if you want and underline the important points. Right, so single, 2 cotyledon, then multiples of 3, multiples of 5, then vascular bundle scattered, vascular bundle arranged in rings, parallel venation, reticulation, and root system and the taproot system. So that way, whatever important points are there, you need to only underline with the help of a pencil. That's it. Then next, the next question was, write a paragraph in your own words about the ornamental plants called ferns. So you can mention all these points. Again, we need to highlight the important point. Ferns belong to the division Pteridophyta. The plant body of the Pteridophyta is differentiated into roots and leaves. They are found in cool, damp, and shady places. Have specialized conduction of water. So these all things you have to mention, because Pteridophyta are the group from which you can see the differentiated system, and in this only we find developed vascular bundles. Then ferns are economically important plants. They are used for ornamental purposes. These are ornamental plants. Some of the ornamental ferns are sword fern, and example Nephrolipis, the holy fern, Cryptomium, the leatherleaf fern, that is Zumohra. So such kind of examples you have to write. So you can see hardly, if you count, how many points can you see in this? 1. See, this is first point. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 points, and the examples are given. That means the question is asked only for 2 marks. Just write the characteristics of ferns. So it may be asked for 2 marks or 3 maximum, and you have to write only 4 points and the examples. I'm mentioning this again and again because the students write the answers of half a page and one page just for 2 marks. So don't waste your time in writing science at least, because languages are different, but to the science it is all point wise. Only the expected point if you write, you get 2 marks. Right? So only 4 points and you get 2 marks. Then the next question. So that was all about fern. Now you can see the next question is sketch, label, and describe Spirogyra. Spirogyra is an algae. It belongs to which division? Thallophyta, right? So, Spirogyra is a type of green algae which belongs to the division Thallophyta. So, first of all, you have to mention this. So, you have to underline it is a green algae. Then it belongs to division Thallophyta. It does not have specific parts like leaves, stems, etc. It contains chlorophyll and is thus autotrophic. So this autotrophic you have to underline. It does not have leaves and stems, and it contains spiral chloroplast and thin unbranched chains of cylindrical cells. So the pyronoids are present. You can see here pyronoids. What are pyronoids? Pyronoids are the structures in the Spirogyra where the food is stored, right? So this food which is synthesized with the help of photosynthesis, that food is stored in pyronoids. And you have to draw the neat label structure in this manner. Cell wall you have to show, cell membrane, peripheral cytoplasm. Mucilage is the outermost covering of the Spirogyra. Nucleus you have to show. You can see the nucleus here. Single large vacuole and pyronoids. So these labelings you have to do, right? So again, it comes for 2 or maximum 3 marks to draw the figure 1 mark and writing description 2 marks, or for writing 2 marks and the figure, for writing 1 mark and figure 1 mark. That's it. So it's a very simple question. Even if you don't learn, you now after attending the lecture, you should be able to answer. Now next question is, write the characteristics of the plants belonging to division Bryophyta. Right? So these are the characters. The characteristics of Bryophyta are, they are the first plants to live on land but require moist conditions to survive. For this reason, they are called amphibians of the plant kingdom. So amphibians you have to underline here. First plants to live on land. They are non-vascular. That is, they do not have specialized vascular systems, xylem and phloem. They lack there are no true root, stem, and leaves. They have rhizoids instead of true roots. They do not bear flowers and seeds. Then they reproduce sexually as well as asexually. I'll show you the whole answer. Right, so they reproduce both sexually and asexually. Bryophytes exhibit alternation of generations in which gametophytic phase, haploid, and so this you need not write, because even if you don't write, it doesn't matter. It's not mentioned in your textbook. Now, examples of Bryophyta are Vixia, Markensia, Funaria, etc. So examples you have to write. So the next question is, sketch and label the figures of the following plants and explain them into brief. So you have to draw the diagram, sketch and label in this manner. Markensia. So capsule, you can see rhizoids, leaf-like part, stalk, and the capsule. So in this way, you have to draw the figure. Markensia. The next is Funaria. So you need to label all these parts. So drawing and labeling comes for 2 marks. So because they are very easy figures, and out of these 4 figures, 1 definitely comes in the exam, right? Spirogyra most of the time is asked, but the others are also asked sometimes. Fern and Funaria. So Markensia, Funaria, the labels are, you can see rhizoids, leaf, seta, capsule in case of Funaria. So these labels you have to do. Here you can see the diagram of fern. Leaflets are present. And Spirogyra, the same figure which we have seen in the last question, previous question. Right? Cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, and then large vacuole, mitochondria, and all that. So you need to draw neat and label the diagram in order to get the marks. Then the next is now question number 5 is collect a monocot and a dicot plants available in your area. Observe the plants carefully and describe them in scientific language. Right? So whatever, now this is a personal response question. You have to collect monocot and one single monocot plant and dicot plant, and you have to write the characteristics of them in your notebook. So that question I'll skip, that you have to do on your own. Then the last question, question number 6 is, which criteria are used for the classification of plants? Explain with reasons. Now this is a big question. It is asked in the exam for 3 marks. What is the criteria of plant classification? So plants are divided on the basis of various characteristics like, what are the criteria? First is differentiation of plant body into root, stem, and leaf. So you can see differentiation of plant body into root, stem, and leaves. This is the first character. Then the second criteria is vascular tissues, whether the xylem is phloem, whether conducting tissues are present or not. Then production of seeds, whether the seeds are produced in that plant. Then covering of the seeds, whether the seed is open or it is enclosed inside the fruit. Then number of cotyledons in a seed. So depending on these criteria, the plant kingdom has been classified, right? So how many are there? 5 criteria. And also you have to explain them with reason. So the chart you have to draw. I'll show you the whole answer. So here is the answer you can see. So after writing the criteria, you can write this. The following chart explains the classification of plants. So plants divided into Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. So do not have differentiated plant body. The plants which do not have differentiated plant body, those are Thallophyta. That have differentiated plant body, Bryophyta, but without specialized vascular tissue. And with vascular tissues are Pteridophyta. They do not produce seeds, while the plants producing seeds are phanerogams, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. How they are classified and the characteristic, whether they are naked seed or the seeds are inside the fruit. Then angiosperms, so they are divided into 2, monocots and dicots, having 2 cotyledons and having 1 cotyledon. So in this manner, to explain this answer, which are the criteria of the classification, and you also have to explain how they are classified on the basis of the criteria. Right? So I hope I have told you, I have explained you the whole chapter. I have given you the question answers of the chapter, and I hope all of you have followed. You can take the screenshot or you can write it down. Okay, so I've completed here. I've completed the chapter. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask. If anybody wants to ask anything, they can ask the question. And all of you have to write this down. You have to write this classification of plants and science to notebook and complete your notebooks. Yes, I have completed the chapter. If any questions are there, you can ask the question. Yes, Shreya. Shreya Yadav, you are raising your hand. You can unmute and ask the question.